Hey everybody, Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Recap, a guy's review. This is a appreciation video for Emmanuel Acho. We'll discuss Emmanuel Acho, the guest host of this last night's episode of After the Final Rose. After the Final Rose, of course, is the sort of recap episode from the season of The Bachelor. This was a crazy season, to say the least. So much we've talked about. So many hours have been spent dissecting this season, filling in a lot of blanks, waiting to hear from people share their sides of the story. And last night, Emmanuel Acho was able to ask some uncomfortable questions. Now, as we know, Chris Harrison has been the host of The Bachelor for all 25 seasons leading up till today, or I should say yesterday, when Emmanuel Acho took the reins. Emmanuel has written a book called Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. He has had Rachel Lindsay and her husband, Brian Abasolo, on his YouTube channel, which is Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. And he has sort of a core philosophy about having difficult conversations versus accountability, but not necessarily canceling people. He is all about having tough conversations after having noticed, as you can read in his book, that he realized people weren't having conversations out of fear. And I'll tell you what, Emmanuel puts himself in a tough position by having these conversations. He's got people that are upset with him on all different angles. He's got a lot of people that agree with what he's doing, but trust me when I say this, it creates, by having tough conversations, and I can't put myself into his shoes, but by having tough conversations, you're going to have people that hate you on all sides. It's true. But he represents, I think, a majority of people that are somewhere in the middle that understand people try the best with the information that they have, but there are also consequences for their actions. So what better person to sort of be the shaman on this journey of tough questions with regards to the interracial relationship between Matt James and Rachael Kirkconnell. And as we know now, the relationship has not lasted the test of several months. It couldn't make it out of the gate. It stalled at the starting line, unfortunately. And there is a small window of hope for the relationship. But Emmanuel is good at asking. He asks some great questions. What I love about Emmanuel Acho here, you guys know me, I like to bring it back to a nice baseball reference. He's not trying to do anything crazy. He's just like a pitcher with a good fastball. There's nothing fancy about the questions he's asking. He just has the gumption to be out there and asking the questions. He comes from a great spot as a first generation of parents from Nigeria, and he grew up in an all-white town, or he said primarily white town, but he went to college and played football for a majority of a black team. And so he's able to see different sides of things. Now, he doesn't speak for black Americans. He doesn't speak for white Americans. He just speaks for himself and asks tough questions. Because of that, he probably feels like he doesn't belong in any of these different circles, but he's willing to have these talks. And the internet went crazy for him. He became the interim host of The Bachelor after the final rose, after the suggestion from Rachel Lindsay, who has met him and been like, this guy is asking good questions. We should have someone who's asking good questions. The truth is, Chris Harrison's not in a place with where he comes from to ask these questions because of the lens in which he sees the world. Doesn't mean he's not a good host. It doesn't mean he won't return to The Bachelor. It just means he displayed a sort of woeful ignorance to the compassion that is needed and the grace that is needed for the people that saw this story play out and felt like the Bachelor franchise wasn't doing a good enough job addressing issues, nipping them in the bud, and talking about it live as the news was breaking. So anyway, folks, I wanted to share with you guys a couple different clips that Emmanuel Acho posted on his Instagram. He was an NFL linebacker. He's a smart man. He started this YouTube channel, which turned into a best-selling book, and now he has his new book, Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Boy. He's doing the work, and I can't speak for him, but I can imagine he probably never thought he would be an author. He probably never thought these would be things that he's led into, but opportunity comes when no one else is addressing certain issues, and he really took the ball and ran with it here. So let's play a few different clips from Emmanuel, some behind-the-scenes clips. That's not one. Let's go to the first behind-the-scenes clip of Emmanuel just taking the stage. A real powerful moment. This is a great moment, behind-the-scenes video that we have right here. So let's watch.
2, and go. Nation. My name is Emmanuel Acho. I'm sitting in for Chris Harrison tonight, which already makes this the most shocking after the final rose.
So this person right here, the stagehand, is introducing him onto the show. They shoot the show, and this might sound like a real boring stuff, but to break it down, I think it's very fascinating. They shoot the show live to tape, which means they shoot it with even though there's no live audience, they're still shooting as if they were. They're doing the countdown from 10. They have the director who's in the video village. They're watching the monitors. Camera A, camera B, crane shot, pull it in. Send Emmanuel, cue the intro. They're doing the whole razzmatazz here, and we get to see a nice behind-the-scenes glimpse. So for Emmanuel, I can only imagine when they're saying, and 3, 2, and go. I'm assuming in that moment, it's the same adrenaline as when Emmanuel took the field for the first time on an NFL football field. And I can only say that as a stand-up comedian who knows, ladies and gentlemen, the next comic coming to the stage right now, you've seen him. That feeling when you're being introduced and it is showtime is the same as I felt when I played football. Didn't play on a professional level, only played high school, but understand that the stage comes to perform in different areas. It's a turf field. It is a stand-up stage. It is the the final rose ceremony. So this man is built, with the ability to handle adversity and rise above it all, and he knocked it out of the park. We have to remember, The Bachelor wasn't always the crazy big show that it is today. Chris Harrison was able to grow as a host with The Bachelor. For Emmanuel to be thrown into the fire like this, I mean, it really is. We have to appreciate what went down. He did not only a knockout job, I think he far surpassed the high level of expectation people already had for him. I'll read some of his tweets, some of the tweets from Bachelor Nation for you guys. Now let's check this video out. Let's see if I can. I don't know if I can play the audio here. So this is what they do is, as soon as you wrap, again, you might have seen this, but as soon as you wrap on a show, they usually will officially cut somebody. It's almost like a union thing where they're officially cutting someone. Okay, you're wrapped. The crew's not wrapped yet. The crew has to break down, do the lights. This might be mundane. Maybe you wouldn't think it's interesting, but I've worked on hundreds of these different shows. The crew breaks down, but he's done. So what they're doing right now is officially announcing on the intercom to the whole crew, all right, that's a wrap on Emmanuel Acho, and then usually when you wrap the talent, everyone claps. It's kind of cheesy. It's one of those things, but this was a big moment as a guest host for him, so let's just play that one more time. The moment when the game's over. This is when the game's over and he's it's done. The tension released. I'm sorry, let me play it with the audio. This is when the tension is released.
And
that is a wrap.
Cut and print.
Cut and print. There it is, folks. Cut it and print it. So he posted this, quote, "History is meant to be remembered, but not all history is meant to be celebrated." He got a lot of love from people. You did so great. You did an amazing job last night. I've never been a Bachelor fan, but I had to see you shine. Your star is so bright. Keep up the great work. I learned so much by watching and listening to you. Jasenia said, thank you for stepping up to navigate these uncomfortable but necessary conversations. Please come back to Bachelor Nation. Last night was my favorite after the final rose, and I've been watching The Bachelor since Sean's season. I wouldn't hate for him to come back. I don't understand why it's a be-all, end-all. Chris Harrison has the job and no one else does. I mean, why can't it be where Chris Harrison potentially redeems himself as the host, and when there is times for tough conversations, they bring Emmanuel in? Why can't, either way, whether he comes back into the show or not, he's got his own YouTube channel, he's got his book, so go consume the work that he's doing. In the coming weeks, I'm going to put together a sort of response to my reading of his book and kind of try to package it all up and keep the conversation going. This book is meant for people of different backgrounds. It's meant for white people. A lot of times white people say, I don't want to get involved. There's black culture. There's certain things that, you go, oh, whatever. That's part of the issue, is that a lot of white people think, I don't want to dabble and put my toes into waters I don't belong in. And Emmanuel's saying, no, this is the communal pool for all of us to have this, to float along and have this conversation. And that's exactly what happens. So let's go to a few tweets here. Emmanuel Acho is asking brilliant questions. They get the nice gift there. Congratulations, good sir. A lot of gifts. Emmanuel Acho bringing the receipts out here. Of course, the conversation with Rachael Kirkconnell can't come without showing the photos and the receipts for what they were talking about. He did a good job talking to Rachael. He did a really good job of trying to get Rachael and Matt to a better place. I don't know if they did, but I think he asked a lot of the questions so that we could see where they were actually at. Because sometimes a no answer, as Matt James will show you, is a loud answer. I think Emmanuel Acho buys his suits from the people that make my yoga pants. Absolutely. Dude, the guy knows. He understands a good stretch. Like, this denim jacket's got some elastic in it. It's nice to have a little stretch. You need to get out there. You never know. You know, he's got like the suit you would wear if you're a bouncer in case you got to tackle a guy. He's ready to go. I mean, this guy could jump into a football game right now. The dude's jacked. Love it. And for folks have the nerve to think Chris Harrison could have handled this after the final rose. And folks have the nerve to think Chris Harrison could handle this after the final rose. Yeah, this conversation was tailor-made for Emmanuel, and that's just what it is. Chris Harrison would have done his version of it, but what we got was something very good. We should be very happy with what we got last night. Emmanuel Acho, face with Matt James, awkward silence, and of course, my fellow Rhode Islander, Paulie D, what's happening there? That hair gel, what is going on? How do you wash that out? Dish soap. All right, moving along. Emmanuel Acho is like, yeah, you two ain't seeing each other again. Hug and be gone. It's true. He was like, all right, give each other a hug, and they just froze. They didn't move. She was kind of like waiting for him. Awkward. Not going to lie, I feel like Emmanuel Acho is about to sell me a timeshare any moment now. Dude, if he wanted to sell me a timeshare, I'd buy one. Imagine if this face is like, look, for 2 weeks out of the year, you're able, it's like, all right, I guess I'm going to Barbados. You know what I mean? Emmanuel DMing Michelle after the show is done airing. Hashtag The Bachelor. Hashtag after the final rose. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, he's on company time. He's trying to do his job and, you know, get his paycheck. But then at the end of the day, he's going to follow Michelle. Come on. He's single, right? I think he's single. She's obviously single. What's it do there, Michelle? What do you think of my buddy Emmanuel out there? I wouldn't mind seeing them together. By the way, she's tall and gorgeous. He's a former professional athlete. Yeah, let's can we book them? Can we get Emmanuel Acho to be a contestant on the next season of The Bachelorette? That's a twist. Boy, those other guys wouldn't stand a chance. Hashtag Michelle Young. The Bachelorette is nice and all, but Emmanuel Acho is single, sis. Hashtag The Bachelor. Hashtag The Bachelorette. All right, well, we got some people out there that want to see some Michelle and Emmanuel love. Can't hate them for it. Can't hate them at all. So I stumbled upon this video, and this has nothing to do with last night's episode, but this is a chat from Matthew McConaughey talking with Emmanuel Acho, and it really sums up a lot about where we are as a country. I wanted to play this for you guys. Let's play it, and then we'll discuss.
Be America again. The land that never has been yet. And yet must be.
That's powerful.
The land that never has been yet. That's the dream of America.
That's the realest thing that I've truly heard, because it's acknowledging America. We've never been what we've aspired to be.
We've never been what we've aspired to be. I think it's okay to talk about that. I think it's okay to acknowledge maybe it's great for you. Maybe you want to bring it back to a time when it was great for you, but it hasn't always been great for everybody. And if we truly want to live in a country where we're including all different types of people in the wealth and prosperity of the richest nation in the world, we need to get back to a place where we can at least acknowledge we're not there yet. Some people start closer to the finish line than others. I don't get followed through a 7-Eleven. I don't get pulled over by the police as much as some of my friends. I don't have to deal with certain issues other people have to deal with because of ignorance, racism, inherent biasness. I don't have to deal with that. Having these conversations, Emmanuel Acho, Matthew McConaughey, having the tough conversations to say we're not there yet is acknowledging the world's not perfect and there's work to be done. Be hopeful, be optimistic, but don't be delusional to think we've already achieved some version of nirvana. We're a young country. This might be one of the most peaceful times in the history of the world. You know, where humans are built on warfare, conquering, dividing, all that. How do we get to that next level of enlightenment? Well, we do it by acknowledging that we're not there. We do it by acknowledging that we don't all have the same amount of equity of opportunity in this world. And that comes in different forms. But it's so important for us to at least acknowledge that. That can't hurt, right, guys? Emmanuel Acho having uncomfortable conversations is the embodiment of wanting better. A lot of people say, oh, you don't like our country, why don't you move out of it? I don't like the country where we settle for who we are now. I think we can be better. It doesn't mean we haven't done good things. It means keep on rooting on ourselves to change in a direction, in a rung that is better, in a higher way of enlightenment, that takes care of our fellow Americans, that takes care of others. Let's move past a scarcity principle where, oh, I have to protect me and myself. No, there is enough to go around. We don't have to be scared of people taking our jobs. We don't have to be scared about people moving into our neighborhoods. We're all humans. We all deserve the respect we give our own family. So all I ask of you guys is take these types of conversations that Emmanuel has and really appreciate that he's putting himself out there in a way he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to have these conversations. He doesn't have to do this. And a lot of people have lived in fear because they do start to share their opinions and the internet beats them down. And it's important to have these conversations. Go at it with some humility, some grace, some curiosity in a way that's not trying to harm others. And authentically, I think most people will understand that you're not trying to, be disruptive or dismissive. With Chris Harrison's issue, he came off dismissive. He came off like, no, who are you? You don't understand. Like, he could have very easily left a room in the middle there for a world where Rachel shows him what he doesn't know. And because of that thing that might seem so minuscule to people, it blows up a larger conversation of dialogue that we just weren't having in a productive way. And Emmanuel did a great job of having that conversation. Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment. Please keep it peaceful. And let's understand that we're not there yet. Let's keep talking, loving, and trying to get there. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you Thursday, 1 p.m. for the 5-hour, 25,000 live stream special. Link in the description to join my mailing list and the Patreon. Thank you guys so much.